Good morning, Little Masters, and welcome back to today's Tolkien Times. I'm the Man of the West, also from the Prancing Pony podcast. Join me as we continue this special week of the TTT, celebrating the holidays in the letters from Father Christmas. Welcome to 1931. Tolkien's oldest son, John, is now 14. Michael is 11, Christopher is 7, and Priscilla is 2.5. And like last year, this holiday season begins earlier when the children receive a letter, this time around dated on Halloween, October 31st, 1931. Dear children, already I have got some letters from you. You are getting busy early. I have not begun to think about Christmas yet. It has been very warm in the north this year, and there has been very little snow so far. We are just getting in our Christmas firewood. This is just to say my messengers will be coming round regularly now winter has begun. We shall be having a bonfire tomorrow, and I shall like to hear from you. Sunday and Wednesday evenings are the best times to post to me. The polar bear is quite well and fairly good, though you never know what he will do when the Christmas rush begins. Send my love to John. Your loving Father Nicholas Christmas.
Glad Father Christmas has waked up. He slept nearly all this hot summer. I wish we could have snow. My coat is quite yellow. Love, Polar Bear.
Always great to hear from Polar Bear, even if he's griping like usual. And Father Christmas's statement, echoed by every parent, everywhere, every year, I have not begun to think about Christmas yet. Folks, I'm recording this a few weeks before Christmas, and I've not begun to think about Christmas yet, aside from writing these episodes. Then on December 23rd, the children received the following letter from Cliff House, North Pole. And as this is a longer letter, I will keep my commentary to a minimum and in the letter rather than after. My dear children, I hope you will like the little things I have sent you. You seem to be most interested in railways just now, so I am sending you mostly things of that sort. I send as much love as ever, in fact more. We have both, the old polar bear and I, enjoyed having so many nice letters from you and your pets. If you think we have not read them, you are wrong. But if you find that not many of the things you asked for have come, and not perhaps quite as many as sometimes, remember that this Christmas all over the world there are a terrible number of poor and starving people. Look, folks, you might be tempted to dismiss this as some kind of excuse, sort of like the, there are kids starving, finish your dinner kind of thing. But remember, this is 1931, and the Great Depression that began in the U.S. 2 years earlier has spread to Europe and other parts of the world, and people around the world were very much starving. It was a very rough time economically. Now, getting back to the letter. I, and also my green brother, have had to do some collecting of food and clothes and toys, too, for the children whose fathers and mothers and friends cannot give them anything, sometimes not even dinner. I know yours won't forget you. So, my dears, I hope you will be happy this Christmas and not quarrel, and we'll have some good games with your railway all together. Don't forget old Father Christmas when you light your tree.
Nor me.
It has gone on being warm up here, as I told you. Not what you would call warm, but warm for the North Pole, with very little snow. The North Polar Bear, if you know who I mean, has been lazy and sleepy as a result, and very slow over packing, or any job, except eating. He has enjoyed sampling and tasting the food parcels this year, to see if they were fresh and good, he said.
Somebody has to, and I found stones in some of the currants.
In the U.S. and the U.K., folks, currants often refer to what are essentially small raisins. True currants are small berries that grow on shrubs. No way of knowing which one Polar Bear is referring to here, but the fact that he's found a stone in them makes me think that it's like the actual fruit off the shrub. Because I don't think you'd find a stone in the equivalent of a raisin, but, we're talking about a seed is what he really means. Anyway, I don't know. Back to Father Christmas. But that is not the worst. I should hardly feel it was Christmas if he didn't do something ridiculous. You will never guess what he did this time. I sent him down into one of my cellars, the cracker hole we call it, where I keep thousands of boxes of crackers. You would like to see them rows upon rows, all with their lids off to show the kinds of colors. As a quick aside, I feel like I should have mentioned this before, since this isn't the first time crackers have been mentioned. These are Christmas decorations that typically contain a tiny toy or trinket, a tissue paper crown, and a piece of paper with a joke or riddle. Now they're pulled apart, and when they do, they make a snapping or cracking sound like a cap gun. Back to Father Christmas. Well, I wanted 20 boxes and was busy sorting soldiers and farm things, so I sent him. And he was so lazy, he took 2 snowboys, who aren't allowed down there, to help him. they started pulling crackers out of boxes, and he tried to box them, the boys' ears, I mean, and they dodged, and he fell over and let his candle fall right, poof, into my firework crackers and boxes of sparklers. I could hear the noise and smell the smell in the hall, and when I rushed down, I saw nothing but smoke and fizzing stars. An old polar bear was rolling over on the floor with sparks sizzling in his coat. He has quite a bear patch burnt on his back.
It looked fine. That's where Father Christmas spilled the gravy on my back at dinner.
The snowboys roared with laughter and then ran away. They said it was a splendid sight, but they won't come to my party on St. Stephen's Day, December 26th, also Boxing Day. They have had more than their share already. 2 of the polar bear's nephews have been staying here for some time, Paksu and Valkotukka, fat and white here, they say it means. And that's exactly right. Those are the meanings of those Finnish names. They are fat-tummied polar cubs and are very funny boxing one another and rolling about. But another time I shall have them on Boxing Day and not just at packing time. I fell over them 14 times a day last week. And Valkotukka swallowed a ball of red string thinking it was cake, and he got it all wound up inside and had a tangled cough. He couldn't sleep at night, but I thought it rather served him right for putting holly in my bed. It was the same cub that poured all the black ink yesterday into the fire to make night. It did, and a very smelly, smoky one. We lost Paksu all last Wednesday and found him on Thursday morning asleep in a cupboard in the kitchen. He'd eaten 2 whole puddings raw. They seem to be growing up just like their uncle.
Not fair.
Goodbye now. I shall be off on my travels once more. You need not believe any pictures you see of me in aeroplanes or motors. I cannot drive one and don't want to, and they are too slow anyway, not to mention smell. Folks, he would later buy the family's first car the following year, 1932. Continuing with Father Christmas, though. They cannot compare with my own reindeer, which I train myself. They are all very well this year, and I expect my posts will be in very good time. I've got some new young ones this Christmas from Lapland, a great place for wizards, but these are whizzers.
Bad.
I agree with North Polar Bear on that one. Anyway, one day I will send you a picture of my deer stables and harness houses. I'm expecting that John, although he is now over 14, will hang up his stocking this last time. But I don't forget people, even when they are past stocking age, not until they forget me. So I send love to you all, and especially little PM, who is beginning her stocking days, and I hope they will be happy. Your loving Father Christmas. P.S. This is all drawn by North Polar Bear. Don't you think he's getting better? But the green ink is mine, and he didn't ask for it. Folks, that wraps it up for today in the Letters from Father Christmas. Join me again tomorrow for more as we move on to 1932. Learn how you can support the show by visiting patreon.com/Tolkien Times, where you can get all sorts of good stuff. And if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. Listening to it on a podcast, just follow and subscribe in your podcast apps. And everybody, please follow @Tolkien Times on social media. Finally, as Faramir says, go with the goodwill of all good men.